We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank
you. Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy.
I don't hear any clicks. Oh my god, it's quiet clicks. Wait, how are we supposed to... What are we going to talk about now? We have nothing to speak about on the introduction.
Well, I mean, this is our special San Diego Pride. I guess it's a tradition now, because it was
like the tradition of no clicks?
Tradition?
Yeah?
It's our second one we've done, so...
Is it
our little capsule episode. A little special extra for our listeners. Capsule. So how was your week, Joe?
Oh man, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks.
I know,
think. And then I won't see you for a couple more.
I know,
but no, we went to Boston,
Beantown.
I guess that's what Andy said. Boston baked beans.
I think it's just called Beantown.
Why they had a lot of bean things.
Okay,
I feel like it should have been called Humidity Town
because it was hot.
It was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot, and then we went through all the weather. It was overcast. It was humid. It rained. We also toured everywhere. We went to Harvard. We went to Cambridge. We went downtown Boston. We went to the neighborhood kind of area, but all of Boston is gay. And then we went to the Plymouth Rock, and then we went to Provincetown, and I was just everywhere. We did a lot of walking.
Okay.
I'm not a walker.
Found this out.
I don't like... Nick was like, I love walking. And I was like, I would like to cut off my feet. And then yesterday I was like... Or was that today? I don't know. The days were together. Today I was like... No, was it last night? And I was like, I would like to not walk anywhere for the rest of the evening so that I can just relax. And he was like, okay. But no, it was a fun trip. I mean, we got in on Friday... late, so Friday was kind of a moot day or whatever. And then traveler tip, don't stay at the Moxie.
You don't like the Moxie?
Unless you're deaf.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of music and it's really loud.
Oh no, not the loud music, the street.
Oh.
There are earplugs and white noise machines in the tiny little rooms which you stay.
Oh, because they don't have
I slept 0 hours
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
So the next morning I was like, is there another option? Which I will say, we then ended up at the Revere. 10 out of 10. I recommend the Revere. And then it was like 2 blocks away, but it was so much it was nicer. We actually had a chair, because the Moxie, it was here's a bed.
Yeah.
There was at least a chair in the Revere.
I'm so surprised you were able to get another room somewhere else.
Oh, and the best part about it is it was $150 cheaper a night.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. So I told Nick, I was like, my inability to sleep in loud situations saved us a bunch of money.
Okay.
And so, good
Did
thing.
you guys watch any fireworks and stuff over there?
From our balcony.
Oh, okay.
So there was the an outdoor amphitheater. What was it called? The Boston Pops. Oh, and Shaka Khan was there.
Oh my god!
I know. Okay, so we were walking. And it was
Shaka Khan.
I was like Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. Exactly.
That didn't get old.
So, but we were walking, and I was like, I think that's Shaka Khan, and Nick was like, I don't know, and he looked it up. He's like, it is. She was there. I was like, oh, ain't nobody but her, I only know that song.
You were like, I feel for you.
I am every woman. No, but so again, a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And I was like, part of me was like, I don't really want to be in a big crowd because we have to catch a ferry for Provincetown the next morning at 8. I know. And I was like, I'd rather not have to rush back and not get enough sleep, because I've already
you want to be
exhausted.
in a big crowd anyway, period.
Oh.
Okay, Siri.
Oh, she was gonna say, I know it was gonna be the Hairspray Queen Latifah. I know where I've been. Good job, Siri. But I was like, I don't really want to be in this crowd, and so I was like, let's just go back to the hotel, because the end of the like, there's like the hallway. At the end of the hallway, like overlooked the like river, which is where they were shooting off the fireworks. And I was like, we'll just go on the balcony of our room and see if we can see anything. It was like 100% the best view because it was like fireworks here and then there was fireworks over there. And it was like super awesome. I also kind of morbidly was like, I don't know if I want to be in a big crowd right now of like potentially getting shot.
Well, like that's the thing. Like I didn't want to celebrate 4th of July because, well, first of all, you know, women's rights, and reproductive rights and stuff. Yeah. And then, of course, like with the shooting in Chicago, there was also one in Philly. There was
I was like, I'd rather not be in a big crowd because like fireworks cover gunshots real well.
Oh, exactly. Why do you think people choose that day?
So we refrained and then we were on our balcony.
I was very surprised about something didn't happen in Boston, and I was just like, I was worried for you guys because it was like after the shooting in Chicago, it's just like, and people are like, oh, I can't believe it happened in this area. It's like, why? Just because 16 Candles was filmed there, and
it happened. It's listen, if it's not your neighborhood, you're going to be next.
Right.
That's the rate we're going. So, anyway, this is getting sad and depressing. But so yeah, we stayed up in the room. We did everything. Like I feel like we toured Boston. We walked through Boston.
Did you get to the Cheers?
We walked by it. We saw it many, many times. So the cool thing, my favorite part about Boston is they have these blue bikes. Not to be confused with blue balls.
Yeah.
And these blue bikes are basically like you like rent. It's like a rental. Remember how they had the
like an Uber
Lime bikes
for a bike?
Because I was like,
I mean, like a bird for a bike.
Yeah. I was like, I don't mind biking through the city, like because it's pretty flat, so there's not a lot of hills.
Just the cobblestones.
There's not a lot of them.
Oh,
I know.
You guys didn't go into.
Maybe we didn't go in the right area, but we did the like historic. What's it called? The Freedom Trail. Oh, the Herstory Trail.
Old North Church.
Yeah. Well, and it was really interesting because it's like, here's a graveyard. Here's another graveyard. Here's some more dead people. Oh, look, a church.
Like, there's not a lot of freedom on this trip.
No. And I was like, no, okay. But the best part was going to Paul Revere's house. And I was like, oh, it's so, like, it's, like, built into, like, the other section. But then we went to Little Italy, which is where heaven, like, bestowed itself upon me. Because I was like, this is where I belong. Like, the Little Italy in New York is not, like, doesn't compare.
Right.
The Boston Little Italy, I was like, this is a like blocks after blocks after blocks, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know. What else did we do? Oh yes, I poured tea. So that's what again. I spilled tea in the harbor as a political protest against tyranny because that's what the Boston Tea Party was, against taxing or something.
No taxation without representation.
See, I don't feel represented in America
because
our rights are being removed. You know, I just heard representation and I was like, listen, I'm against it because I felt it was fitting for this current 4th of July. Okay. And then we watched fireworks later, but it's fine. I think that was about it. We went to P-Town, which was interesting. It was kind of just like, I was curious to see what it would be like because I was imagining just like Hillcrest, you know, but like more compacted. But it was like really kind of like historic, which was cool. And we did this little like trolley tour through like, I guess not the island, but like through the little like loop of P-Town, I guess the Cape. And so, yeah, it was really fun.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm. My week was not as exciting as yours. So
okay. That's fine.
That's okay.
I know. I compressed a lot. Takeaway: if you go to Boston, stay at the Revere. Don't walk anywhere. Get a blue bike.
Okay. Well, yes. We have before we get into mouth to mouth.
Yes.
I want to introduce our special guest in the studio
for the third time, right?
For the third time.
Is this the charm?
Oh my God! This is the first time I've been on an episode. I know. He's actually on a podcast 3 times.
This is the third time. It's the first time he's been in the studio with us, and we're
in
very
the studio
excited.
/ everything.
Exactly. We have Dr. Carlton. Hey, Dr. Carlton.
Hey guys, so nice to see you in person.
I know. I will say you look like what you look like online.
Oh, okay.
So you weren't catfishing us, so that's a good thing.
Right. It's all that makeup, you know.
The filters.
Oh my God.
circle light.
The ring light. Oh my God.
So let's get into what's giving us life.
Oh my God, I have so many. Okay, go ahead.
So it's time for mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth.
Joe, what's giving you life?
Do you hear that crackling candle?
I know that crackling candle. I know.
Is it a Christmas candle?
I don't know.
What are those? The Woodwicks?
Yeah.
I love the Woodwicks. Did you get it from Bed Bath & Beyond?
I think we got it as a gift.
Oh.
So for years.
Bed Bath & Beyond. If you need to go to Bed Bath & Beyond and get their online thing because you can get 20% off any item.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or just wait till it comes in the mail.
I don't think they send them anymore.
Oh, maybe they do.
Yeah, because, in COVID, they got rid of the 20% coupons, and now they brought them back because it was, saving their business.
Got it.
But what is giving me life, there's a lot. Okay. So the first one
maybe I should have started with Dr. Carlton.
was pre-Boston, and it's called The Other Two on HBO.
I love that, on HBO Max.
Okay.
The Comedy Central one with Molly Shannon and everything.
Yes. So I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. It's slapstick comedy, but also kind of the comedic timing is perfect.
Right.
So that I watched, I think, the first season on the plane because it's a long ass flight. But then the second thing that's giving me life is Mike's Pastries in Boston. And
holler to Mike's Pastries in Boston.
Oh.
If you want to sponsor us, you can send us a couple cannolis.
Okay. The black and white cookie. It was I felt I don't know, I was transcended into another layer of life.
See, I don't understand black and white cookies.
Okay, but
it's just
this had buttercream.
Chocolate.
It had buttercream.
Oh.
And you know it was real buttercream because when I got at 8 p.m. and it was hot as fuck, it started melting outside.
Oh.
And that meant I had to eat it quick.
Okay.
So that's what's giving me life.
Okay. What about you, Dr. Carlton? What's giving you life? What are you living for right now?
Oh, Johnny Sibili on Queer as Folk. Oh, he's so delicious. I'm not sure I should be that into somebody who's smoking crystal meth on television.
It's an actor, though.
He is so hot. So delicious.
He was so cute. He had this
Johnny Sibili?
he had a TikTok where he was at a Pride festival and he was voguing or walking in front of the
protesters. Yeah.
And I thought he was so cool.
Well, the great thing about Queer as Folk is it's very graphic and you get to see
on Peacock too.
Lots of good stuff. And oh my God, Johnny Sibili, if you're out there, I follow you on Instagram.
And he's, Dr. Carlton has his own following. Y'all should just at least meet,
Just do a DM.
Just a drink.
Just slide in.
And I love the way the direction they're taking it with Ryan, the guy who plays Julian, who has CP.
Mm-hmm.
It's so organic because that's Queer as Folk is on my giving me life right now because it's a great show.
Oh my God, it's so diverse from trans to people of color to disabilities, wheelchairs. It represents the whole community.
We're watching it episode by episode, one a day. But the one that we just watched was Ruthie's backstory. And the fact that they would just beep out her dead name.
I love that.
I was because we didn't realize that it was beeped out because it was considered a bad word.
Yeah, it's a dead name. Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't even get that till he actually said it. And she was like, the fuck?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
And then I was when they brought up the real world, me and Andy were sitting here and I go, is she named after Ruthie from Real World Hawaii? And then they brought that up and I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay. Well, see, Queer as Folk was giving me life too. So there we go. So we have Dr. Carlton on here because this coming up is San Diego Pride because they always do it in July. But with everything going on with monkeypox and we still have COVID out there and stuff, we wanted to bring him on to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, if you could introduce yourself to our new listeners, refresh our usual listeners about who you are and your background and stuff would be great.
Listeners.
Sure. I'm Dr. Carlton. I am a board-certified gastroenterologist, trained at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, the world's best place for what I do. But during the pandemic, I sort of stumbled into TikTok because I didn't really have anything else to do because we had so much downtime. And I also had a lot of stress and anxiety and needed something to just fill my time. And I was lurking a while and I said, hey, what do I know about that other people really don't talk about on TikTok? And I'm like, well, I'm an ass doctor and I'm a gay man. So why don't I talk about butt stuff? So I made a video series on Instagram, woke up the next day and had 50,000 new followers on TikTok. Wow. And blam. Suddenly I had this huge following and it's sort of snowballed into this big butt stuff and queer health platform that I'm slowly transitioning out of TikTok and into Instagram because I feel like it really allows me to connect with our community a bit more. And also I can be a little bit more graphic on Instagram than I can on TikTok because there's so many lines you have to walk on TikTok.
And I feel like Instagram is probably reaching, a more diverse age grouping of people that you can reach. TikTok tends to skew kind of like a specific age range. So it's like Instagram Reels is more across the board.
Yeah. And it's nice to hit both. But anything very graphic that I talk about anal with, I'll put it on Instagram and I won't put it on TikTok because I don't want to get taken down.
Interesting.
Are there guidelines on TikTok that you can't do explicit content?
Oh, there's all kinds of guidelines. Yeah. Like anything sexually suggestive at all.
Oh,
yeah. Like people spell out, instead of saying sex, they spell out SEGGS.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very careful not to get taken down on TikTok.
Because you can get blocked, right? Or not blocked.
You can lose your account. Yeah.
Oh, we don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't have that. So I transitioned over to Instagram and, I'm telling you, in the last week or two, it's just exploding. I out of the blue. It's so hard to build an Instagram following. TikTok, I can put out a video and have 10,000 followers in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instagram, it's taken 18 months now to build to almost 40,000.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But like you've got speaking engagements now. Like people are finding you and wanting you because you do very well spoken and you do know what you're talking about. And
yeah, it's been quite a journey. I was picked up by a leather company in Austin, Texas called Sir Rat Leather, and they wanted me to come out for their anniversary to do a butt stuff drag brunch. So I did that, and it was sold out in like a couple of days. I couldn't believe it. And it was such a big hit that they brought me back for their first annual Austin Kink Weekend as their headliner this past April. Wow. So that was my first big headliner gig
over here.
I know. I was
for Austin Kink Weekend.
You're drag brunching. Were you in drag for the brunch?
No, I was not. No. So we had drag queens who performed in between sets of like me talking about queer health. So the first half I usually talk about queer health, which is a little bit more boring, like how to get properly tested for STIs. What you need to know about things like monkeypox, what you need to know about everything related to queer health, vaccines, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the second half, I usually talk about sex. Yeah. So by that time, people are lubricated, a little bit more champagne flowing. We can talk about anal. We can talk about fisting and stuff like that, so that people aren't too like grossed out. So I did that. It was a huge success. Austin Kink Weekend is amazing. It's going to triple in size this year, and I've already been asked to come back and be a headliner for this coming April. I did my first show in San Diego at Urban Moe's a couple of weeks ago. I had a sold out drag brunch there. It was called Peaches and Brunch, and the local AHF pharmacy sponsored that, and we had 4 drag queens perform. And I did that whole thing where I do the first set where I talk about queer health and the second set about sex. And honestly, I've never felt more like a rock star. They had all my TikTok videos playing in the background, and I had them on cue to, okay, play this video. Right. And Moe's is built such that there's a wall behind me with a video board. Yeah. And so it went really, really well. And it was just a really phenomenal experience. And since that day, I've been asked to do Glue, which is another leather thing in Houston. I'm applying for Claw, which is in LA and Cleveland, coming up. And podcast galore. I was on the phone with Rocco Steele this morning. I mean, that's every gay man's dream, to talk to Rocco.
For those of you who may not know, like Joe, who Rocco Steele
just remember, I represent the new listener.
Right. You need to look him up because he is thick. Like,
His underwear brand is called 10x7 for a reason.
right. So
Yeah.
Those are dimensions.
So anyway, so
Oh my.
yeah, so a week in the life of Dr. Carlton. On Friday, I did a BuzzFeed interview. On Saturday, I taped 2 podcasts. On Sunday, I did a live show at Urban Moe's. On Monday, I got interviewed by Slate about fisting.
Oh my God.
It's just
I think I saw the BuzzFeed.
about
Yeah.
about the
or maybe you had a new one. I think this was a couple weeks ago. I think it was like, oh yeah, because it was about what was it about? It was something.
It's about that vegan crumble thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was causing really bad GI side effects.
Yeah. What was that? Oh my God. The like
something Harvest.
Yeah, Daily
Harvest. Yeah.
They could sponsor us. We'll be fine.
And you also have another show coming up in San Diego.
Yeah,
weekend, right?
actually on July 9th at 9 p.m. at I Am Pride at Diversionary Theater, which actually supports Diversionary Theater. It's a benefit for Diversionary Theater. It's a gay improv with D'Angelo, who is one of the staples of San Diego gay nightlife. And he's really taken off as well, doing a lot of drag queen tours as a manager this summer with a lot of the RuPaul girls, which is amazing. We're doing a butt stuff thing called Sex, Love, and Butt Stuff Questions and Confessions. And we're going to have improv artists, including Miriam T., who's one of my favorites in San Diego, who's going to be one of our improv artists.
Okay.
For that. Yeah. So just a different take on the whole butt stuff situation. And then Sunday morning, I drive up to LA and I'm filming in studio with Scruff to do their YouTube channel and their TikToks and their Instagrams.
I mean,
all the while and then Monday through Friday, you're seeing people.
Like I saw 35 patients in clinic today. I did an interview on KHOU Houston for the monkeypox thing. In between patients.
I mean, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, how are you? Are you time traveling? Like, how do you have all the time for this?
I don't Hermione Granger.
I don't have a manager. I don't have an assistant. So if anybody's out there and wants a job,
it's an internship.
An unpaid internship. You'll get to hang out with Rocco Steele, maybe.
There you go. Yeah. So let's get into the reason why we have you on here, because we really, with Pride coming up, not next week, next weekend, people are going to be coming together. There's a lot of parties.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be big. This is the first San Diego Pride in over 2 years.
Right. So, I know that...
And it couldn't come at a worse time.
Right, because monkeypox is on the rise. And California is one of the top states within the country.
Well, we have the most people. We have 40 million people here, and we have the most cases. We have 111 cases overall right now. So that makes sense, that we have the most. And New York is right behind us. They're also a big population center as well. So basically, this whole monkeypox thing I saw coming, and there's an Instagram video on my page that I looked at today that's really ominous. Okay. It's from May 20th, and I said, "Hey guys, it's May 20th. Darklands, which is a leather and fetish festival in Belgium, just reported that 3 attendees are positive for monkeypox. It's a virus that's kind of like smallpox or chickenpox. It causes a flu-like syndrome, swollen lymph nodes, fever, and then you develop this painful blistering rash on all parts of your body. And you have to be in isolation for about 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
When these lesions are present, and you can't leave isolation until they crust it over and fall off. I said, and what I know, this was May 20th, so I'm like, International Mr. Leather is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And all the same people that go to Darklands go to IML. Mr. Belgium even won IML this year. So that tells you that there's a contingent, right?
Yeah.
And listen, we're not doing anything wrong. We're just living our lives and doing, especially after COVID. Good Lord, can you expect anyone to just stop what they're doing after all that we've been through in the last 2 years? But here I am telling you that you need to use some caution.
Right.
And
gays don't want to do that.
And gays don't want to do that. You can tell them till you're red in the face, and they're not going to do it. So of course, people got it in Chicago that weekend. A friend of mine who's on Instagram and TikTok, that gay doctor, was one of the first people to go public with having monkeypox, and he documented his lesions, his whole journey with monkeypox. Now he's out of isolation and doing great. But he was brave enough to go live and not be ashamed of having this illness and say, "Hey, listen, it's a disease. Diseases have no shame.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They happen.
Right.
They happen." So I documented that. So around the same time, Puerto Vallarta Pride had some cases, and then
like the guy who found out he had monkeypox, but decided to leave and take a plane home so he could be in the United States.
Well, in June was Pride Month, and that's right when it kind of hit.
Right, and then so you have all these people who've been to all these festivals all around the world, going to different prides, and international travel, spreading it that way. And it's not a sexually transmitted infection; it is a skin to skin infection,
and it's not a gay disease.
It's not a gay disease at all, and I think you even mentioned earlier today that there was a video of a girl in Pennsylvania who said that she had this rash and she couldn't get anybody to treat her. Oh, wow. So obviously it's not just a gay disease, right?
Is it by just like contact?
Skin to skin contact.
So you could brush up against somebody.
Well, it should be more prolonged skin to skin contact, but I mean, bathhouses are the number one source right now. So do not go to a bathhouse or a spa or a steam room right now. 7 of 9 people that I've interviewed this past week got it from bathhouse type situations where you're skin on skin. There's a lot of sex
for a long time.
The first thing that people say is, "Oh my God, I developed this really painful lesion in my ass, and it was unlike anything I've ever had before. And I knew something was wrong, and I couldn't poop. And then all of a sudden, I've got these flu-like symptoms, and then the rash broke out all over my body."
And then people are saying that they're not just on your skin; they're in areas. So it's like in your mouth, in your nose, in your butthole. Right, you get them in crevices, people.
Right, exactly. And honestly, who doesn't love to go to a gay bar and start kissing people? Random strangers.
I don't do that, but okay.
Yeah, but maybe that's just me. So prolonged face-to-face contact with respiratory droplets is a way to do it. So kissing, skin to skin. So all these circuit parties that are happening. Mm-hmm. I was so freaked out this past weekend because I knew P-Town was happening. I knew Fire Island was happening. Mm-hmm. P-Town, no offense, guys. And then I knew that Daddyland and Dallas was happening, and I was like, oh, this is a clusterfuck.
Well, but it's also,
and there are already positive cases from that.
And they still haven't figured out if it can be through bodily fluids like cum and things like that.
It's skin to skin, and if you have it, it's going. If you're giving someone bodily fluids, you're probably skin to skin. So it probably is in bodily fluids as well. But it's so early in this, and we know so little about this virus that it's kind of hard to say exactly what's happening. So anyway, the prodromal symptoms are flu-like symptoms, lymph nodes. A lot of guys are developing painful rectal lesions, and then this rash that happens, and it's the rash lesions are fucking painful. They're like narcotic level painful. Oh. So you have to be really, really aware of this stuff. One of the things I'm nervous about coming up for Pride is there's going to be 400,000 people rubbing up against each other. And there's all these amazing parties that I want to go to, but I am suddenly not going to go to in San Diego. I mean, I don't want to damage the business or anything, but I got to tell people, hey, listen, if you are in your jockstrap and you're at a party and you have nothing on but a jockstrap and you're rubbing up against some hot daddy who happens to have monkeypox, guess who's going to be in isolation for 3 weeks?
Well, and is it like, so it's not deadly?
It's not deadly. But it's just the old version of monkeypox was deadly. It was much more common to have deaths from monkeypox previously. This virus has mutated. Yeah. And it's a lot more contagious, a lot less deadly. Okay. So the people that really need to be concerned are those who have immunosuppression, who are on cancer treatment, who have HIV advanced with AIDS. There is a medication that you can take for it, but it's a real pain in the ass, and you have to get it through the CDC to get it. And also, if you've had the smallpox vaccine, you do have some immunity. So here's what's happening in places like Toronto and Montreal and Canada. They jumped on this thing for Pride. They started giving the smallpox vaccine as a vaccine to try to combat this thing. And even now, if you have an exposure to someone who has monkeypox, you can go get a vaccine from your local health department if it's available which is the problem right now. And it's very effective at preventing you from actually getting monkeypox. So I think I was telling you earlier, I'm in really close contact with a very close friend at the CDC who tells me that there are only 60,000 doses of the new monkeypox Jynneos vaccine available. The vaccine is given in 2 doses, 1 4 weeks apart, 2 4 weeks apart, and you're not considered immune until 2 weeks after the second dose.
Yeah. So 6 weeks, basically.
So basically right now, summer's over.
Yeah. And they usually the symptoms come up like within a week or so.
The incubation is 10 to 21 days.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so about a week to 2-3 weeks.
That's a week and a half to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And are you contagious in that time
frame?
frame?
You're contagious when you start developing symptoms. Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you can even get it from like clothing if you share like a shirt or something with somebody.
That's the whole thing about being up against someone's skin, being in a bathhouse and sharing towels or whatever else you're going to do in the bathhouse, obviously. So yeah,
what else do they do in bathhouses?
So yeah, so another issue, right. They play bingo. 69. So when it comes to the idea of even the gym now, it's safe to go to the gym, but wipe down your equipment.
Right.
And no one does that anyway.
I know.
I'm telling you, I swear, when people like mid-COVID, people weren't wiping down their equipment, I was just like, have you learned nothing?
That's why I don't go to the gym.
Yeah.
So
Paul, you're being very safe.
You're being so. I'm so proud of you. So anyway, you're taking one for the team. So when it comes to monkeypox, if you have symptoms, stay home. Mm-hmm. If you develop call your health department.
And it's a financial burden too, because like you're out for anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks.
Right now, if I had to be out for monkeypox, I would be financially ruined because of the way I work.
Right, exactly.
If I can't generate revenue and I have to pay 100 people their salary, I'm going to be poor. Because
you have to wait till the lesions scab over, fall off, and new skin has grown on top of it.
Does it? So there's blisters, and then they heal, and then they all have to be healed, and then you can go back into the world.
Absolutely. As soon as they're all healed and crusted over and new skin is formed, you're good to go.
So how do they test for monkeypox?
They do a scraping of one of the lesions.
Oh, okay.
So, and sadly, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, because there's not a universal testing.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, can I just go to my local urgent care and get checked for monkeypox? No.
Well, you're probably not supposed to be around people either.
I know, right?
I'm at the Minute Clinic. I'm trying to do monkeypox.
Right, in a minute, I'm gonna get a monkeypox test.
In a minute, I'm gonna get a. Yeah.
I need a nurse to pump me up.
Yeah. So again, there's 60,000 vaccines available right now. The priority's been given to people who have been exposed to someone with monkeypox. The hope is that we can give it preventatively so that people get more like a PrEP situation where we don't get monkeypox.
Yeah.
That's happening in some areas. New York was blessed to get 14,000 of the doses because they have a lot of the population and a lot of the risk factors up there. Atlanta, I think I told you earlier, I posted that Atlanta's having a clinic this weekend. I posted it on my page, and 3 hours later, it's overbooked already.
Wow.
So these vaccines are going like hotcakes. If you get the chance to get one, honey, get it.
Right.
But so you said smallpox vaccine, like.
Well, there's two methods that they're thinking that we're going to have to do. One is the Jynneos monkeypox vaccine. Another one is a smallpox vaccine that they're just going to get from circulation that's already out there and give it that's a one-time dose of, and then if you mentioned earlier smallpox vaccine, if you've had it as a kid, because a lot of people who are older than 50 have that circular scar on their arm.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the smallpox vaccine. So there's a 63% coverage from that vaccine.
Okay.
When did they stop giving? Because I was like, I don't know if I had smallpox.
You
vaccine.
didn't have it.
You didn't have it.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I didn't have it, and I'm 50. So So basically, there's a 63% coverage from that. But I have a friend in New York who had the smallpox vaccine as a kid in another country, and he still ended up with monkeypox. So it provides some coverage, but it is not full coverage. I'm suggesting probably a booster shot, so you don't have to do that whole 2-week window thing. If you've already had the smallpox vaccine as a kid, you may only need a booster and you'll be okay.
I'm also interested in seeing if your own immune system creates a way to fight it, or if it's like COVID where it mutates and it's like somebody gets COVID 2, 3, 4, 5,
Right.
6 times because they don't know how to act.
Well, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's cool, you know, like COVID, now we have a new variant, and now monkeypox. Like, what's the next virus that's going to come for us?
Yeah. I'm on pins and needles.
What's our winter virus? Because this is our summer virus.
Right, yeah. So as someone who's about to travel to Mykonos for 10 days and who spent a shitload of money on a vacation, I guess it's just going to be sightseeing and enjoying the Greek waters.
Not the Greek men.
And
Are there any outbreaks in Europe? Because I'm going to Italy. Do I need to be careful?
Berlin, Madrid, London, Portugal, huge outbreaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to a very remote area in Italy.
If you're in a very remote area in Italy, you'll be okay.
Just don't
probably.
rub up against anybody in
for work.
So,
a remote village.
And again, going back to that whole thing, I feel like such an asshole right now because I'm telling people, don't do all the things that faggots love to do.
Yeah.
Don't go to a circuit party and be shirtless and hug up against a hot daddy. Don't suck face with another guy. Don't go to a bathhouse
or numerous.
Or don't have a bunch
do
of
it, but with like saran wrap on you.
right. Or don't use
with a bubble.
Don't have a bunch of orgies. You know, there are some smart things that you can do, and the CDC does actually have a sex positive post today.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were saying like virtual.
So jerk off with each other on FaceTime, or jerk off
6
feet away from each other, or
ooh, that's like real. That's like real, like edging.
But
that's
I mean,
kind of hot.
What if somebody has distance shooting? Like you're gonna be like, no.
Well, then you're exercising too.
You're trying to dodge
Then you don't have to go to the gym.
streams.
But things like if you're going to a club or a rave, wear a shirt and don't take it off.
Just do
And
it all.
don't rub up against people. Yeah, beekeeper.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, please. You can wear. Dude, those what are those like latex bodysuits?
Oh yeah.
Like no. Like
you can be a sip.
What are those? No. They're non-breathable. Right? Like those are the things like at oh my gosh, at Folsom I remember there was
the gimp out of Pulp Fiction,
yeah, and they're like full latex. Like, would that be safe?
Skin to
and
skin,
maybe a fishbowl.
I mean, as long as you're not skin to skin contact, and you don't take it off and give it to somebody else or wear it after somebody else.
Hey, I mean, people look. If there's a will, there's a way. You might be able to still look sexy with like a skin tight.
So and don't let anybody cough on you.
So one of the things I'm telling people is, hey, listen, if you're just a horny guy and you need to play around, find a small circle of people that you can trust. It's not going to play outside of your circle.
Good idea. Yeah.
Make an agreement that you're only going to fuck each other. And play just with those people,
and strip down and just look over each other.
Absolutely, and then if it hits your little group, at least it's contained to that little group.
Yeah, right. It's. Scary.
I mean, these are scary times. Luckily, this isn't a deadly disease. Sadly, it harkens me back to. I feel kind of like Larry Kramer in 1982, telling people not to go to bathhouses and not to fuck without condoms.
And like I told you, you can't tell them that because they're just going to want to do it that much more.
Right.
Right. Like we're toddlers. We just want to do what we want.
Yeah, right. And I don't want to be that guy, but I also want people to have the information that they need to be able to make decisions for themselves.
Right. Because knowledge is power. So,
yeah. I mean, I begged people not to go to Daddyland this past week. They still went.
Yeah. Yeah. You can only
and they're positive cases.
Your Instagram influence only goes so far.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the things I've learned as well is you can arm people with information and give them the tools that they need to make good decisions or bad decisions for themselves. Yeah. And then
but at least
that's all you can do.
And you
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I would love to make that horse drink because it's like, you motherfuckers are stupid and you can listen to me.
Okay, so
or a doctor.
I want to move on because I also want to get some of your since it's Pride and people are gonna, if they are gonna go out and have sex, we need to prep them so that they don't. Not only do they not get monkeypox, we don't wreck their hole.
Absolutely,
I mean? Do it safely.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've had some really great recent posts that a lot of what's great about my Instagram growing is there's a lot of people who are really prominent in.
I saw your tip from a power bottom.
I know I had a tip from a power bottom. He said, hey, listen, number one, and I haven't shared one. I'm going to share it exclusively on your podcast.
Exclusive.
Exclusively. But he said, hey, listen, if you're a guy who's really worried about being clean enough before you get fucked, do the dildo test. We call it the dipstick test. So lubricate a dildo, gently insert it in, go all the way deep.
As far as you can go, girl.
And slowly, so that you allow things to stretch a little bit and you get lubricated and you pull out. And if that dildo is not covered in poop, you're good to go.
Okay. So you know exactly how far you need to go back up, but where it starts.
Right. So it serves the function of making sure that you are confident that when you go have sex that you're going to be okay. Number two, that you're going to be lubricated for it, because after all that clean out process, you want to make sure that area is lubricated again, because you're going to have wiped out a lot of stuff, mucus and everything else with the water. And thirdly, open your hole, honey. You know what's about to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So with lubricating your hole, if you're planning on being like fisted or
that's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
So like, what is your feeling on using like Crisco or lard? Because I'm not frying anything, so I don't know why we're using that.
Well, at least your farts would smell good.
Fisting is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So when it comes to lube for fisting, a lot of people use X Lube or J Lube. There are brands of lube that are specifically designed for fisting.
Huh.
But a lot of people don't necessarily like those lubes, quote, straight. They like to mix them with Crisco or CBD oil or whatever they find that's really good and slippery. Fisting, I actually did an international fisting survey because there's no information about fisting in the medical community and nobody knows anything. So I interviewed a bunch of people around the world and said, hey, what would you tell someone who's ever been fisted before? What do they need to know? And the number one thing that I learned from this whole process is that fisting is actually a hugely connecting experience. That people who allow someone to have someone else's arm up their ass, there's a level of trust that happens there that doesn't happen with anything else. And if you're not locked in and visually communicating and
something could happen.
Yeah, you can't be high for something like that because you don't know you're getting injured. So this whole idea of fisting, I think, really came about a lot more in COVID times because people had a lot more time on their hands and they could actually experiment a little bit more and had a little bit more time to play. And it takes some time. There's a whole preparation process that happens for cleaning out. There's a cleanup process that happens.
Gotta lay down plastic.
Absolutely. And you have to have paper towels ready.
It's like a murder scene.
Yeah, basically, Dexter for sure.
Get your sling ready.
So I always thought of it as a dom sub thing because I always see these people gut punching on Twitter, and it's not. It's actually the bottom is in control.
As always, right?
And they guide you, and that's the way it should be. The guy, you're there to please the bottom if you're at the top, and they guide you through the whole process. I always tell people from this interview process that I had that using someone who's an experienced fister or fisty is very important in your first go around when it comes to fisting. You kind of need to get over that whole relationship drama stuff when it comes to having someone's arm up your ass. So don't get jealous about something like that. You need to learn how to do this properly and well. You need a mentor.
What do you do when the hand's inside you just like tickle a little or like
there's all kinds of do
you do jazz hands?
You clap.
So there's this whole process that happens with fisting that's a lot more intense than I ever realized. When it comes to the most stereotypical reactions to people, people really think that they're going to be incontinent, they're going to be in diapers. Well, hell, a lot of us are going to be in diapers in our 80s, anyway. So I wouldn't worry a whole lot about it.
And there's butthole rejuvenation.
And as long as you're not injured, you can your hole has a big snapback potential. So I tell people,
snapback.
Yeah. So I tell people just don't get hurt, and use an experienced person. It's not it's not a race. Don't try to get a whole arm up your ass the first time you get fisted. If you get a couple of fingers in, great. So that's one of the biggest things with fisting right now is patience, lubrication, mentorship.
I'd be like, have you ever seen Kristen Wiig on on SNL when she does that character with the four sisters, and she has the tiny little dog.
Yes!
I'm like, that's what I want to get fisted with.
I mean, so like, do you go in like obviously like you go in slow, but then like after a point, it's obviously much less width. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So
then
basically,
it's almost like a butt plug almost.
Yeah. Basically, you go in, one finger, then two fingers, and then you do two fingers each side, and then you kind of work like a duckbill, work your hand in there, and there's kind of a whole swirling motion that happens with it. And again, people say, don't worry if you don't get the whole fist in there. It's okay. This is not a competition. Go as far as you can, but just don't get hurt more than anything.
Yeah.
When they're done.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It really is the journey and not the destination.
When they're done, you have to give them a hand.
Can you fist bump up? Oh. Okay.
So basically when it comes to the whole pride thing, as far as if you're going to play with somebody and you know that you're in a safe situation because of this whole monkeypox thing, I know I'm putting a lot of qualifiers out there. Lubrication is key. Starting on top is amazing because you control how fast something goes in you. Mm-hmm. Push out a little as it goes in, because if you push out a little, it opens up your hole a little bit, so things can go in a little bit more easily. Okay. The exclusive tip that I was going to tell you about
to get to that,
is popper related. So this person says, okay, and it's a non bottom WeHo on Twitter, by the way,
and not jalapeno poppers.
No. We're talking about the poppers that you sniff. So no doctor's ever going to tell you to use poppers because they are a chemical, but poppers act in a way to relax the smooth muscle in your whole body, including your blood vessels, so you get a head rush, but also your asshole. It's made out of smooth muscle on the inside, the internal anal sphincter. So that's why people use it, to relax that hole. The problem with poppers, it also gives you sort of a high feeling so that you can't necessarily sense that you're getting injured if you're on poppers. So his recommendation is, before you do any poppers, get his dick all the way inside of you, all the way to the hilt. Make sure you're opened up, then do your first hit of poppers, so that you can sense
if there's something wrong.
If there's something wrong in the beginning.
Got it.
That's his recommendation. I have not tried that, but it's one of his recommendations.
Interesting.
And he did give the dipstick recommendation, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
So, I also saw your Instagram reel about the second hole.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's termed as the second hole is actually just a turn. There's no second hole. But the anus is about 6 to 8 inches away from this sharp turn in your lower GI tract.
So Rocco still will always hit that turn.
Yes, honey.
Is it a U-turn?
It's a hard left.
Yeah. So anyway, there's this really sharp turn that happens, so that if you douche too much, water can get trapped over that turn and go up into your sigmoid colon and make the whole clean out process a lot more problematic than it needs to be. So these bottoms who are on Twitter saying, or on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, saying that they're spending 2 hours preparing for their sex date, they're probably doing a little bit too much water up in there, and it's shooting over that turn. You really only need to clean out the last 6 to 8 inches. So you clean out that little area and you're good to go. Fiber is so key at keeping all the residue clean. It's cut. As much as I want to hate Pure for Men because they are expensive and they're aimed at our community to help with staying ready. Mm-hmm. Fuck, that stuff works. They sent me some samples. They wanted me to do a video for them. I haven't done it yet, and I haven't committed to them yet, but it cut my clean out time by like 75%.
So Pure for Men, if you want to go ahead and send us some stuff, we'll tell you what
that shit works.
Do you also take a probiotic or do anything like that?
I don't do probiotics. Probiotics are kind of iffy on whether or not they do anything, but if you take one and they work for you, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pure for Men thing, the fiber, and it doesn't have to be Pure for Men. It can just be Metamucil capsules.
I was just going to say, Metamucil is very cheap.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yeah. If you can use psyllium husk and you don't get gas from it, because Pure is like a mix of chia, aloe, and psyllium. But if you can use Metamucil and get away with it, it's much cheaper.
Can I just eat like Quaker Oats or something in that fiber?
Well, your diet is really important.
Yeah, Americans are very, very deficient in fiber.
Are we? Okay.
Yes. What is it? 30 grams of fiber a day?
30 to 35 grams, depending on
And
if
I
you're
think
male
most
or
Americans
female.
get, what, like 10 maybe?
Yeah, if we're lucky. Yeah, so that really cuts your clean out process. So you could do a little rinse. There's a phenomenon called the gastrocolic reflex where when you eat, a signal is sent from your stomach to your rectum to empty to make room for the food that's coming in by making your waste exit. So although there are all these stories and jokes on Instagram about people eating ice for dinner that are bottoms, you don't need to do that. You can totally eat. You just take advantage of the gastrocolic reflex.
Look, here's my thing. We both know what happened to that hole. So
Okay,
you're taking your life
listen,
in your hands.
and also if you're going to be with someone who's going to shame you for shitting on that dick, like,
Who needs that?
also, like, listen, I personally don't do anything. I'm just like, I'm also in a committed relationship. So, but like, look, there's going to be poop on it sometimes.
There's
You know
gonna
what
be
I mean?
poop on it
I will
sometimes.
eat Indian food and then go at it. There is no shame.
Right, exactly.
When the moment strikes, like, because I feel like that's something that I never really understood is like all the preparation, because it's like,
right,
what if the mood strikes? It's like, oh, hey, actually give me like 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Then you just killed the mood.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
You're right. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that people really complain about a lot is like, hey, listen, you can't be perfect all the time. That's where shit comes out.
Literally.
That's normal.
Yeah. Light a candle, dim the lights, and then have a towel ready. There you go.
Wipe it off. Use good lube,
Yep.
and it wipes right off.
Yes.
Don't use a white towel, though. Just saying.
I use white towels.
Brown towel.
No, I use white towels because then it's like, I'll know if it was clean.
There you go.
I'm like, is it
Do you
good?
need to know, though?
But also, again, a lot of lube. You're right.
Yeah. Silicone lube, I think, is really the best lube because it kind of forms a protective barrier back
Which
there.
one is it?
Silicone lube.
Oh, okay.
I actually work with gun oil right now, which is unfortunately named in this age of mass shootings.
God, yeah.
But
so
that shit works.
it's really good.
so good.
Yeah. And if you want some gun oil, I have a 30% offer code on gunoil.com.
Get it,
it's
girl.
called the doc is the offer code.
remember that name.
THEDOC.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want some gun oil and all
Typing it
their,
in right now.
absolutely, it's my favorite lube, and I'm one of their global ambassadors.
And how long is that code good for? Like,
Forever.
It's about 6 months.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because my last one was something different. And
so the doc. On gun oil.
gunoil.com. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
see?
Gun oil? No, gun oil
Listener-
is fantastic.
Listeners, we're giving you some like
30%
stuff
off,
here.
honey.
Look.
For free.
I know,
Well, not
right?
for free, but 30% off.
Just listening.
Yeah, because lube is expensive.
It really is.
Especially with inflation.
And they actually had to raise their price, and they said, "Hey, listen, this is a supply chain thing that we."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Supply chain hits lube. I'm telling you.
But the guy who runs Gun Oil is a former Marine, and he told me the story about how he came up with gun oil. So he was in Iraq during one of the wars and noticed that all the Marines needed to jerk off. So he built a Jack Shack, and they used the oil, the dimethicone oil from the guns that they used to clean the guns to jerk off with.
Oh,
and
really?
He made gun oil from that.
Wow.
So it's kind of a
did
hot
not
story.
know
I
that.
can imagine just
Patriotic.
yeah. God bless America.
Stand at attention. So I would think that lube needs to be a necessity in your Pride kit. What else would you consider necessities for people's Pride
Ooh,
kits?
good answer. Good answer.
Okay, for your
Good
pride.
question.
Yeah, for pride kits. It depends on what you're going to be doing at your pride. Obviously, lube is important. If you're not on prep, then make sure that you've got condoms. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure that you have your phone with you. Make sure you have a phone charger with you. Make sure that you have the phone numbers of the people that you're going to be with, so that you don't get lost in a group. If you're going to do things that chemically alter you, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you know what mixes with what, because that's how a lot of people get in trouble. I'm a circuit queen. I've been to circuit parties where I've had friends almost die from one drop too much of something bad.
Wow.
How would you even find out those interactions? Like, where would you go?
Well,
Like
it's all
online?
over the internet, but
Yeah.
basically your things are don't drink alcohol if you're taking G.
Yeah.
I'm not telling people to take G, but I'm saying do not mix those two things.
But you can't stop them.
Yeah.
You know?
Better to give safety advice, right?
Don't do poppers and Viagra together because the combination can drop your blood pressure really low and you can stroke
I
out.
did not know that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, and if you're going to do Molly, make sure that you're hydrated. Ecstasy, Molly, make sure that hydration is key.
Yeah.
It really revs up your heart so fast and your body temperature so high. You have to really stay hydrated.
And don't do Molly or ecstasy because then you just want to touch people.
And then
And
you'll
this
be
is
getting
not the
touched
time for
for
that.
monkeypox.
You don't listen right now. You don't want to be chemically altered for anything. Yeah. So go in your beehive suit to Pride.
So, like, what
your
are some of
personal
your
air.
top tips that you've gotten from fans and followers of yours that you'd like to share?
Definitely, the dipstick test is one of those. A lot of people. One was about measuring for a cock ring. Have you ever heard? Do you know how to measure for a cock ring?
No.
So you know those metal cock rings that are
Yeah.
a certain size. So what you do is you take a string and you wrap it around your balls and your dick. You measure that out. You divide by pi, and that gives you your cock ring size.
Oh, Jesus. Now I want pie.
Pi is 3.14.
Now I want
So
pie.
if it's
That'll be your diameter.
yeah, that's your diameter for your ring. Yeah, and you want to go one size smaller than the measurement. If you're in between sizes, just so that your dick fits in there.
If you're half size, go down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
At DSW.
yeah. I know.
I would never use math in my life. Now I figure it out.
Here I was in geometry thinking this is bullshit. But no, it actually has applications.
So what about, okay, so now that we're talking about cock rings,
Uh-huh.
so what about anal beads?
Anal beads, that's a good question. So I actually gave a set of those to one of my friends for his birthday, and one of the guys at the
Martha
table
Stewart?
started chasing him around the restaurant with the anal beads, which was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Alcohol was involved.
It was pennies.
Grand slam.
So the way those work is you feed them in, and then just as you're coming, you pull them out.
Oh,
So it hits your prostate.
wait, you pull them out that aggressively?
You just pull them out
Not a
as,
gentle
All at
pull?
once?
as you're coming.
Does
yeah.
it make a sound? Does it sound like popcorn? Oh my god, it's a tongue pop. It's the booty tongue pop.
It's like Alyssa Edwards.
Oh my god. Okay, I wouldn't mind if my butt made that sound.
All right, so what are some of your tips for tops?
Tips for tops, definitely. Okay, number one, don't just ram it in there, honey. You're gonna hurt somebody.
And it could be you.
Yeah, you don't want to ram your dick into somebody. You could ruin their life. You could ruin their day. You could definitely end your sex date. Warm up that hole. Use your tongue. You blow on it. Tickle it a little bit.
Whisper sweet nothing.
That's right. There's a lot of nerve fibers down there.
You're beautiful.
I have my whole butt clock technique, which is one of the things that I'm known for online, where you actually think of the hole as a circle. If you go in and stick your finger straight in and press over at 9 o'clock and hold it, lateral firm pressure, that tiny little circle starts opening up. So 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock.
You had to think about the time frames. I could see it.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah,
what's
east,
that
west,
around the
north, south.
clock?
Maybe I should call it the butt compass and just say east, west, north, west. Anyway,
You'll guide it
Whatever
in.
gets you there.
Catholic still has Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
right, exactly. Yeah, you make the cross. Yeah, right, exactly. So,
Hey, whatever works.
so we know who was an altar boy.
Whatever tickles your fanny, right?
So anyway, so with this whole idea of opening your hole, a progressively widening dildo is another possibility of opening you up as far as tips for bottoms. As far as tips for tops, lubrication, reapply the lubrication. You want to make sure that you're well lubricated for the whole thing. Take verbal cues, take visual cues. If a bottom looks like they're just not enjoying it, you need to do something different. Hit their other spots. there's more than just the fucking, and there's more than just their asshole. Some people like to be kissed on the neck. Some people like to be kissed. Some people like to be stared at in their eyes. Some people like their toes sucked. Some people like to be rimmed. There's a lot of things you can do as a top to please someone else. And try to get your bottom off if that's what they want. Not every bottom wants to come. A lot of bottoms just want your cum to be their orgasm. Like they see you come, they're happy. That's all they need. But communicate. If a bottom wants to come, make sure that they come too.
You want to come, baby?
Yeah.
I have for lube. Have you ever heard of those like lube injectors?
Yeah.
Do those work?
I have some. Yeah, actually. So what they do is, you can buy lube injectors at an adult store where you can squirt the lube up a little bit deeper up in there.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a bigger task that you're taking on, you can definitely use those lube injectors to help get the lube a little bit higher up.
Is it like a cock gun?
It's like it looks like a syringe.
It's a syringe where you just shoot lube up your ass.
Oh, okay.
But so if you do that, then I'm guessing you probably don't need as much lube on the penis before.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And another thing that people always ask me to settle the argument on is creaming.
What is creaming?
Creaming is where, if you see on porn, bottoms have this creamy white substance come out of their ass.
Okay.
And people are like, oh, I'm a creamer, or oh, I'm not a creamer. So creaming is basically where your lubricant plus the normal mucus that your rectum makes, because your rectum makes a certain amount of mucus.
Is it like you're making a salad dressing by homogenizing the liquids?
Yeah, basically that plus all the friction from the penis going in and out. It's like a churn.
So you're just making a bunch of bubbles.
Yeah. Okay. So you're basically making butter back there.
Ooh, booty butter! Come on, booty butter.
Is that truffle butter?
No. Although,
with this friction and the mucus and the lubricant plus other loads that someone might have back there, you end up with this white creamy substance.
All right then.
So do you want a cream?
I am not a creamer.
This makes me want some ice cream.
My name is not Ben and Jerry's.
Cold Stone.
All right. So if you don't know, if you probably do know this from previous episodes, but Dr. Carlton is also a huge Drag Race fan.
Oh, yes.
So did you watch Drag Race España season 2?
I watched the talent show.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best part of that whole
That's like
show.
the best episode ever.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that set a whole new bar for talent shows.
Yes, of course. Like the opera singing and just the live singing itself was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, what about, who do you think is going to win All-Star 7 All Winners season?
I really hope
Whatever
it's
it's
Jinx
called.
Monsoon, because Jinx is just, her rendition of Judy Garland was the funniest thing I've seen on television in years. I just was crying. I've watched it 8 times.
Oh, wow.
I watch it on YouTube all the time because I'm just like, the fact that she does a callback to a joke in season 5 is
I know,
just
with
amazing.
Dave.
Yeah.
And actually, she has her own podcast, and I listened to her podcast with Dave after that.
Oh,
because I was just so cute. Yeah.
All right, so he says Jinx Monsoon. What about you, Joe?
I don't think Jinx is going to win because it's a lip sync extravaganza showdown.
Oh,
That's the thing, because she's killing it before.
But she's not a lip syncer.
No, so I feel like it's going to be Trinity
Trinity's amazing.
for a lip sync, or I don't know, maybe Jada, or maybe the Vivian. I don't know. It's anyone's game.
Honestly, the great thing about this show is that there's so many talented people up there on stage that it's hard to be to have a favorite because they're so good.
I just love the format because it's like everybody is so much more relaxed and
Yes.
so helpful
Yeah.
because nobody's
Yes.
going home.
I mean, you don't have to, like, it's not as competitive, even though it's competitive.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So we're going to wrap up here, but we have rapid fire questions for you.
Go
all right?
for it,
So
yeah.
it just has to be right off the top of your head.
Okay.
Right out of the tip of your booty hole.
All right.
Are you a creamer? No, just kidding.
No.
That's not my
No.
question. All right. If you were a sandwich, what would you be?
A Reuben.
Okay. Joe?
Oh, I have to go?
Yes!
Oh my God. A McGriddle.
Oh, okay. I'd be a bagel sandwich because there's a big hole in the middle. With a lot of cheese. Because I'd be messy.
And locks. And locks.
Exactly.
Because you smell fishy, girl.
I'm serving fish.
Yeah. We can tell.
All right. If you were on a reality show, what edit would you get?
I'd be the nice guy.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I would be the nice guy, but the one that like is manipulating everyone.
Oh.
Like I would be.
Nice guy.
No. I appear to be nice, but then after it's like, oh,
Yeah, because you don't see it when it happens.
Mhm.
See, I would be the sassy best friend who gets there to the second, but becomes a runner-up.
and you befriend the people who get the big prize, so you get half.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
All right, last one. Fuck, marry, kill episodes across the RuPaul universe. So any season, any franchise, are there, like, what season would you fuck, marry, and kill?
Oh, the whole season?
Yeah, the whole season.
That's conceptual.
Is it? Because, like,
All Stars 2 is probably the best season.
Oh, is that-
so
it's
I
a-
would probably want to marry
Okay.
All Stars 2. Season 5 is probably my next favorite in the whole lineup.
So that'd probably be your fuck.
Yeah. And then kill season 1. Too much gold screen.
Oh my god, on China's in there.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just too retro filter. I can't see anything.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
I'm trying to like.
All right. What do you think of that? I would marry season 6. I would fuck season 8, and I would kill season 7
Okay. I can see that.
because
I was gonna
season
say
7 sucked.
I was gonna say marry season 6 too, because I feel like after that it was just a different vibe.
right. Like
I
it changed.
Yeah, I would either marry season 6 or All Stars 2. Yeah, those were a
good one.
Those were good ones. And then I would kill. What was the last season that we just had?
14.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't like that season.
I'd kill Canada season 1.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I would kill RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under.
Oh, I like that. I love that one. I love Down Under.
Oh wait, but then who would I fuck?
Oh, no, you know what?
UK season 3.
Or
Hell of a Day.
kill
I love a day. I love a day.
kill Holland season 2 because I hated the fact of that they let the person stay even though they had a phone.
I would kill a lot of the seasons, honestly, because I feel like there's some like the. I mean, I love Jade Essence Hall, but like that was like meh.
Yeah.
Like, and then what was the one after that one? Jade Essence Hall, and then who won? What was she a 12?
Willow?
Willow Pill was
Oh, it was Jade
good.
Essence Hall, then Simone.
Simone. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Then
then Willow
Willow
Pill.
Pill.
I already forgot about it. Oh my god, I was like Willow Pill. What?
Yeah.
Well, all right. So before we go, Dr. Carlton, if you could just let all of our listeners know how they can contact you, find you,
Absolutely.
where you're going to be appearing soon, things you might have coming up. all that
Absolutely.
good
So
stuff.
I'll be at I Am Pride this Saturday, July 9th at 9 p.m. With D'Angelo. We're going to be doing sex, love, and butt stuff, questions and confessions. It's going to be a funny sort of improv sort of thing. And I've been gathering questions and sex confessions from all around the world, so it should be pretty interesting.
Worldly.
And absolutely. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Carlton, all spelled out, DocTorCarlton. And I am on TikTok, the same name. I'll be in Houston in October at Glue, hopefully in LA at Claw in November. And in this fall, you'll be seeing me on Rocco Steele's YouTube channel doing a special butt stuff episode.
Awesome.
Or
All
you
right.
could go book an appointment with him if you're in
Right.
the San Diego area,
Exactly.
and if you have insurance.
right. And the way things are going lately, it's something different every day. Like I open up my phone and some celebrity is saying, "Hey, let's collaborate."
That's so awesome. I am so happy for all your success.
It's been
seriously.
incredible. Like I don't know what's happening, but I think the fact that I'm authentic and that I will show myself in a harness at a leather bar,
Right.
but at the same time tell you about medical stuff, about monkeypox, what you need to know. I think people identify with that. One of my friends is from Phoenix, and she said she was just randomly at this restaurant and she overheard people next to her talking about me.
Oh, wow.
And they were saying how they said there's this hot rising star on Instagram. His name is Dr. Carlton, but then he goes and shows himself at a leather bar or at a kink event. And I think, oh man, you just completely shattered your credibility. I think it gives me credibility.
No, it does, because you're
living the life and walking the talk.
Right.
Walking
Yeah.
the walk.
And so before we go, I
And
forgot.
also, you break down all the shame that people might have
Right.
approaching a professional about an issue.
Right.
So before we go, I also had
And I have one follow-up
I
question. I
forgot.
know we're wrapping.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know how your husband and your kids feel about all this success and everything that's happening for you.
Well, as I was telling you earlier, last year we went to Provincetown Bear Week, and as the moment I walked off the ferry, every 5 feet somebody was talking to me, asking for a picture, or doing, can we do an Instagram, or can we do a TikTok together, or hey, I just want to tell you how much you've changed my life. I actually went to go pee at the nude beach, and I was crossing the dunes where people do what they do, and two guys were mid fuck. And just stopped right in the middle of fucking and said, "Oh my God, we love your videos. Thank you so
Wow.
much." And I just said, "Carry on, boys."
Don't get any sand in there. It's not very well.
So, I mean,
Are you
luckily,
a creamer?
right, exactly. My husband has been very understanding, but at the same time, nobody gives you a handbook on how to deal with instant fame in the gay community. I'm not famous, but I'm kind of gamous.
Oh, look at you coming up with your own words over here. Gay mess.
Yeah. So when I go to a gay bar or I go to a gay event, people know who I am.
Right.
So people want a picture or people want to talk to me or whatever. So it's annoying to him. And I have to remember that he hates social media. He just isn't about it. So,
Right.
But he supports me because he knows this is what I love and this is what brings me joy. The downside of that too, as well as, I like to go to Bear Week and have my ass out in a jock strap, but I can't really do that now.
Yeah. I mean, you can. You can wear your beehive hat.
Yeah. Right.
You could just, honestly, just put on like a mask. And
honestly,
no one will know.
and honestly, Memorial Day in Palm Springs, I did that.
Okay.
I had my ass out at the barracks.
Hey,
Whatever.
But he can't do that right now because of monkeypox.
Right. That was pre-threat. Okay.
Yes.
So my kids, on the other hand, they know what I'm up to. They don't really communicate that much.
Oh, they're that age.
They're 17, so they don't really care.
Okay.
Their friends know, and their friends' parents know what I do, but they don't really watch my stuff. They don't follow me, and they pretty much blocked me from all their social media. So,
they're going to be following in a couple years.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it gives them more opportunities. I don't know. My daughter is about to go to NYU to do theater camp at Tisch for a month. So, and what's funny is a lot of Broadway people follow me. They're like, "Oh, I love your stuff," and I'm like, "Hey, my daughter's coming to New York. Look out for her."
There you go. There you go.
All right. So anything else, Joe?
I was just going to ask, do you ever think that you'll get to a point where you'll leave your medical practice and then that will be kind of like a partial thing instead of your main?
It would have to be a pretty big deal. I mean, my goal has always been to be the gay Dr. Ruth. And until I get a show on a big like Netflix show or whatever that pays me enough to be able to leave my current job, because my current job is really well paying.
Yeah.
And I'm making such little money on what I do right now for all these other companies like Scruff and Gun Oil compared to what my real job is, that I doubt, unless I get picked up by somebody, that's going to happen. Plus, I'm 50, and there's always going to be somebody younger and cuter who comes along who shares the same kind of information I do. So I've realized as well through this whole process that you can be offered a lot of stuff. Like I've been offered. I've auditioned in one day. I've auditioned for a prominent magazine sex educator, hemorrhoid creams. spokesperson that was going to be like a $20,000 gig.
Wow.
A couple of other things, and all 4 of them just didn't pan out. You know, people make you think that you're going to be the guy, but it's just some company yanking your chain just in case you're the fallback guy. But another cool thing that happened to me recently was I was named FX Network's Pride honoree for 2022. They have a small handful of people that they sent gift boxes out to honor for Pride Month, and I got one. And I thought, you know, the network that does Pose wants to honor me.
Yeah, that's so
that's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah. So
Very influential.
that was awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, Dr. Carlton, for being on our show again. For the
Awesome.
third time.
I love it.
Appreciate
It's so nice and so much more fun to be in person.
I know, right?
Yes.
And so everyone have a happy Pride. Don't forget to follow Dr. Carlton. Get his tips.
Yes.
Be safe out there, everyone. Please, please, please. And if you
Wear your bee suit, y'all.
wear your bee suits, get checked. And then we'll see you in September. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.